All right. Hi, everybody. It's me, Salmon Ella, your favorite fresh, fishy streamer. Today we're trying something new. We are going to read my favorite webcomic, Awful Hospital. I've got the screen set up. I just literally right now realized that it's just going to be me talking and no music. So I might try and find some royalty free music for next time because I do plan to get through most of this comic, if not all of it. It's one of my favorites, if not my very favorite. It's by Bogleech or Jonathan Wojcik. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce his name. It looks Polish, and I have a deep respect for the Poles. Um, but yeah, we're starting Awful Hospital today. So we're going to be reading. It's going to be you and me, and we're going to check this out. So let's get ready. You were ready to try anything, but he kept getting worse. Much worse. Or was that just a nightmare? Oh, hi, Pyrogram 3. Pyro Gaming. Okay, that's how you say it. Pyro Gaming. Hi, Pyro Gaming. I'm Salmonella. Thank you for the support. I'm streaming Awful Hospital, which is one of my favorite webcomics. You woke up, after all. At least, you think you did. Awful Hospital. Seriously, the worst ever. This is one of my favorite webcomics. I adore it. Sponsored by ImmunoChoose, organic, non-GMO, vaccine alternative, 100% real human invention, maybe recommended by a doctor. Start. You have awoken in what resembles a hospital examination room. It smells like a mixture of birthday cake and sewage. Beyond the curtain, a strange metallic tapping sound is growing steadily louder. You can't remember how you got here, but you remember your son. You don't know where he is. Hi Pia, welcome to the stream. Oh, sorry Pyro Gaming, my sound alerts are currently broken. I need to fix those. I need to do a complete overhaul with my bots. I just converted to a new bot and I haven't figured everything out yet. Something clown painting. It's as if more than 100 different voices are chattering away in your brain as you gaze around the room, but one intrusive thought pattern drowns out all reason. That painting. That terrible painting of a clown. It is as if some artist only hastily scribbled it as some sort of placeholder or in-joke and was ultimately too tired to do anything more interesting in its place. It is awful and you need it. Why do you need it? You want to hold it. You can't get it out of your head. Talk to the clown painting. What? Lick the clown painting. Why would clown painting? There are more important things. Clown painting, clown painting. Your head, it's in your head. It's going to eat the backs of your eyes. Come on, turn that clown upside down. It's screaming. Wait a minute. What were you doing? Something about a clown painting? What clown painting? This is an enlarged, framed photograph of a bed bug? No, that is definitely a crab, not the edible kind. Well, maybe technically edible, just not the kind anybody would look at and immediately want to steam with a can of beer. This is the right way to prepare a crab. Never boil them. It gets all rubbery and fishy and just awful. Awful! Okay, you're gonna put this back on the wall, and hi YOLO, welcome to the stream. We have just started reading Awful Hospital, which is one of my favorite webcomics. We are in a hospital room, so we are playing as Miss Green over here, and someone has entered the room. Now, I need to do an excellent voice for this character right here. He deserves, which is actually why I have something here with me. I actually got a quote-unquote sponsorship recently. Basically, I got a coupon code for Dubby Energy, and if I sell enough of their product with my coupon code, they might reward me. So I am currently about to try Dubby Hydro Pineberry Splash, which instead of just, like, Dubby is like every other energy drink company out there, like Gamer Supps, like G Fuel. But they also have a hydration blend, which doesn't have caffeine, it just has electrolytes. And as we all know, I don't need any additional caffeine. So let's try this Pineberry Splash. Yeah, hopefully it'll work. Oh, this bottle that they sent me does not want to open. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's really good. Like, I was kind of expecting it, because, I was kind of expecting it to be chalky and awful. Not gonna lie, I didn't have high hopes. But it's pretty good. It doesn't have the electrolyte taste that you sometimes get out of Gatorade or other hydration drinks. It genuinely just tastes like flavor powder, so that's pretty good. Pineberry Splash is a pineapple strawberry blend. All right, now that I'm properly hydrated, let's see if I can give this guy a voice. Ah, you're awake. Please refrain from reorganizing our emotionally sensitive decor. I'll reorganize your face if you don't tell me where my son is. You're too confused, nauseous, and agitated to care what they've got you tripping out on at the moment, which probably explains both your surroundings and your sudden surge of anger. You can't think of any reason why they would separate you from your child. The doohickey. Oh, of course. Forgive my rudeness. I'm Dr. H.M. Phage, T.E., Chief Physician, Radiologist, Surgeon, Pathologist, Pathogen, Immunologist, Urologist, Gynecologist, Reverse Gynecologist, Taxidermist, Dentist, Forensic Entomologist, Necrobiological Reconstructionist, Herbalist, Fashionist, and Twin-Core Husk Intersector licensed in all chromatic, material, and hypothetical perception zones. I can assure you, sir, your dog is in excellent hands. Ask again where your son is. Oh, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? The emotionally sensitive decor! Oh dear, you'd better calm down there, Gramps. We don't want you blowing your book lungs all over your freshly mucused gown, do we? Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with our head transfusionator. We'll have those hearts pumping healthy yellow bile again in no time. The delusion calling itself Dr. Phage hastily scuttles back out of the room before you can respond again, let alone get your hands around its neck-like region. You hear the clattering of its legs fading down the hall beyond the curtain. Why are you green? You're not sure why this question is stuck in your head. You appear perfectly normal, though nothing feels quite right. You feel detached from your body, and nothing seems real. Alarmingly, you have been stripped of everything, even your shoes and socks, and are wearing only a cheaply made hospital gown in dire need of washing. Or burning. Examine room. Ugh. With that popsicle guy gone, you can really take in your surroundings, which proves to be a terrible idea. Everywhere you look, the exam room is distressingly filthy. There are even things moving around, translucent and indistinct. Bugs? Not quite bugs. You know what these look like, but that's impossible, isn't it? Take anything useful, and something sharp. You can't shake the feeling that you may need to physically defend yourself. If you're not really in a cartoon hospital and a weird monster crawling around, you could still be in some sort of back alley chop shop. You take a nice jagged shard of the wooden picture frame and don a clean enough pair of rubber gloves in the bottom of the box. They fit so well you can barely see them. You don't think you have time to search the cabinets or drawers. You should probably get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. On the other side of the curtain is a hallway lined with several other examination rooms, all of them lit, but the one directly across from yours. To your left is an ominous metal door. Down the hall to your right, you can faintly hear activity you probably want to avoid for now. Duck into the darkened room. Oh, increase my mic's volume? Actually, my mic's volume is maxed. I don't know if there's a way for me to make it louder. I'm looking at... Yeah, I don't think there's a way for me to make it louder. I'm as loud as I can be. I'm sorry. What if I move my microphone a little bit closer to my mouth? Alright. How's that sound? Are we doing alright? Duck into the darkened room. You enter the dark exam room just in time. You can already hear phages tap-tapping coming back down the hall. And someone or something else. Oh, is this art over here actually Ito Junji? It definitely looks like his style. The room is extremely dirty and unkempt, even compared to your own. On the bed is an alarmingly shaped red-brown stain. Little things scuttle into hiding as you look around, so you're going to assume they're most probably harmless. Hide under the bed and listen! Ah, stink beans. It evaporated already. What? Of course they do. They always do. Oh, fine, you can look. But don't expect to find much more than a smelly residue and a half-eaten wallet like the last one. You mean the cat? It was a cat, wasn't it? Oh, well, whatever. It's probably stable for now. Just power up the unexistalizer when you get the chance, in case the damn thing starts leaking onto anything important. Oh, hi, Gordy. Thank you for the raid. We are currently reading Awful Hospital. Hello, raiders. My name is Salmon Ella. I'm your favorite fresh, fishy streamer. We are currently settling in for a long read of Awful Hospital, which is one of my favorite webcomics. We are currently, we're hiding from one monster in a room with another monster. We're not 100% sure what happened. All we know thus far is that our son is sick and he is missing. I apparently have a soft spot for stories with children, not getting hurt, but having risk applied to them. Like, in my D&D game, we're currently trying to rescue my other character's adoptive son, so... Anyway, enjoy, please, welcome. If you have to stream, if you have to raid and dash, go ahead. I'm currently, we are on page 11. And look at this thing. Oh, the blood stain on the bed sits up and speaks. Land's sakes, son, you literally just missed her. Little lady moves like an oiled-up slorvum on Rupturin's Eve. You better hurry up. Purty thing could be chewing on the tubes already. Well, okay, so I need to get my sound alerts fixed. I recently switched to a different bot, and I don't know how to set it up. I need to get somebody from the VTube Vanguard server to show me how to actually set it up. I've got a new bot, and it's got a built-in TTS, which is what I wanted, but I'm not 100% sure. Sound Alerts has its own bot, but it doesn't work for me for whatever reason, and I don't want 10 different bots I have to keep track of. I want one bot that does everything. Wah. Now look at how upset Miss Green is at the prospect of this bloodstain talking. Express gratitude. Engage conversation. You kind of can't believe this is your life right now, but you thank the patch of dried blood for lying to a giant syringe while you hid under a bed. You deluge the bloodstain in questions for a while before you realize it is neither moving nor speaking anymore. Everything is dead silent. The two doctors seem to have long receded back down the hall, and maybe it's safe to do some more searching. Have a good one, Gordy. Thank you for the raid. And then here's a little note from Bogleech. Sorry for accidentally hiding this layer back there. It didn't really mean anything. Delightful. Quietly leave the cupcake. You don't want to disturb your friend any further, if it is in fact capable of being more disturbed by you than the reverse, but you are stricken with an odd thought before leaving. We put the muffin... Oh, I've heard about so I'm aware of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I do love the good the good speeches from a sentient AI. Love me an evil computer. Uh, but I have not played it because some of the themes make me a little bit uncomfortable, particularly pertaining to Elaine. I think that's her name. Uh, get well. Oh, oh, it's eating the cupcake. It's eating the cupcake. Well, at least he seems happy. At least he seems happy. All right, where are we? Back in the hall, you take a moment to reflect on what you've seen so far. You woke up mere moments ago in a strange place, full of strange things. Some of them want to hurt you, but they don't even sound like they're aware of it. Other things, apparently, are on your side. It feels too real to be a delusion, but it doesn't feel like the right kind of real. You can worry about what planet you're on later, though. Some of these things here may or may not have taken your child from you, and you are going to do who knows what the hell in the name of some crackpot mockery of medicine. Yeah, I totally understand being. I'm a delicate and fragile flower. I am a sweet, darling fish who can only handle so much darkness. For example, Awful Hospital does deal with some incredibly dark themes. Uh, Child illness being the big obvious one, and various forms of death. Lots of death and body horror. We sure do love body horror in this house. But the way Awful Hospital presents them makes it appetizing and less frightening. It's funny and cartoony, and you can sort of get past the yawning existential horror of exploring your own microscopic corpse biome. Teehee, let's investigate the metal door. That looks vaguely fetal, embryonic, flecked with rust, immovable steel door. The immovable steel door has some sort of security lock on it. You can see only blackness through the bars, and the faint sounds you can hear remind you more of a sawmill or an assembly line than a hospital ward. Buzzing, grinding, clanking, and wet splatters echo deep in the darkness. The hastily painted insignia appears to represent an embryo. You don't feel well. On a hunch, you try a number of combinations. What did that little thing call itself? It can't be that obvious, but he did seem a little wacky. HM Phage TE. Nothing. Dr. Phage TE. Nope. Dr. Phage. No. Dr. HM Phage. Zip. You probably have no hope of guessing. It could be anything, even random letters, but someone or something else here has to know it. For now, you're going to check the other exam rooms. If they put you in one, couldn't they have put your son in one too? Hello, my dear. Welcome to the stream. We have just started. We are on page 17, and we have reached the we have followed the slime trail into another examination room, and here we have a runny nose. Your son was oozing. Maybe he. Oh, hello there. Are you here about my. Hang on. Are you here about my kidney stones? They're getting very unpleasant. The room drips with sickly smelling mucus, but the thing on the bed seems reasonably harmless and possibly even talkative. Countless questions are chattering away in your mind. I am a Foley artist at heart. I'm just another patient, I think. Do you even have kidneys? Kids what? Never mind. So, nose. I'm looking for a little a thing like me, but small. Like you? No, I seen things like parts of you around. I see. Can you tell me about the staff here? Oh, they're wonderful. If you go back in your womb, I'm sure the nurse will get around to you someday. Maybe she can even fix how gross your face looks. I'll keep that in mind. Is that your medicine on the counter? Is that what you need? That's gas pills. They got left here by accident. You can have them if you can find me something for all these awful kidney stones. They're everywhere. Every time I turn around, there's another one laughing at me. I can't get any goddamn sleep without Wacket! Okay? So, what can you tell me about this place? Oh, sorry for my outburst. This is the hospital, of course. Yeah, but which hospital? There's two hospitals? No, forget it. Where is this? I mean, the hospital located? Huh? Where would I be if I went outside right now? Outside? Name a place that isn't the hospital. A place that's what? Is what? A place that's what? What? Sorry, can you tell me about a place that's what? Disengage! Unfortunately, nothing you say elicits any new response from the small, slimy creature, and its incredulous shouting of "What?" over and over may arouse the suspicion of the hospital staff. You hastily slip back outside. Oh no, the kidney stones! We never helped with the kidney stones! You are back in the hall. You hear a number of soft, tiny giggles from the room behind you. Let's not worry about them now. Most of the other rooms remain unexplored. Your son could be in one of them. A sour odor wafts from room 2. A trail of old blood leads into room 3. A repetitive, exaggerated sighing can be heard coming from room 4. Something is muttering to itself in room 6. Fussy little grunts come from the room erroneously marked backwards 12? How do you pronounce that? So that would be 8. That would be 8, but it's like backwards. Down the hall to your right is a fork in the path and two illegible. We've got a typo. Bogleech, we found a typo. Illegible in strange language. Could it be safe yet? 8! Check room 8! Those sounds, little fidgety sounds like a baby or... gooey pink eyes. Itchy. They're so itchy. I can hardly take it, I tell ya. Hey, you're a doctor, right? Can't you give me a look-see before you run off again? I'm dying here. As strongly indifferent as you are to the plight of some giant eyes complaining at you in a Boston accent, you may as well humor it for a moment before you move on. Taking a talking smear of blood quite possibly saved your life only moments ago. You can't be too quick to brush off all these things. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, you are so gooey. What are we looking at? Oh, it's clowns. You have a case of clowns. Miss Green has had enough. Miss Green is simply leaving. Try the room with the blood trail. You're beginning to pick up a pattern here. We've got an oozing skull. The jaw of the fractured cranium clicks and clatters out of tune with the thing's chortling. It seems to be having a grand old time of just slithering around, even though it appears to be doing so at a fraction of a snail's pace. You can only barely tell that it's moving along at all, but it sure seems excited about it. Leave for now, check the other rooms, in sequence, and go from there. You attempt a few questions, but the crawling brain thing just keeps giggling and making race car noises. You don't have time for this. You get the sinking feeling you might not find anything human in the examination rooms, but you better keep searching. You decide to pop over to room 2, the smelly one. Oh. Oh, that is so gross. That is so gross. My model freaks out whenever I take a drink. The pineberry splash is really quite good. Tasties. More tasties. Is it the stomach or the vomit that's speaking to you? Whatever. The stench is overpowering and empty pill jars litter the room. Next, you leave behind the vomit man and move to room 4, the source of the exaggerated sighing. Oh, good. That only took an eternity this time. Still not good enough for a real nurse, I guess. Not that I blame them. Are you taking notes? I thought they ought to know that I'm feeling very depressed. You're going to leave now. Next. Oh, the pain. Oh, the agony. Can there be no relief from this unbelievable agony? The hovering spinal column speaks like someone boredly reading off a series of cue cards. You are pretty sure this is not your son. Ask the spine what's its problem. So your child isn't in the exam ward and you don't know what, if any, danger he could be in, assuming things are actually as they seem in this place, which seems to be a whole lot of weird creatures without a whole lot of going on right upstairs, especially considering the only one with a head so far was nothing but a head, and it was broken. You literally have the whole head in the examination. You literally have the only whole head in the exam ward. This is nonsense. Why is a spine wearing a hat? Thank you. I really do want to be a voice actor. I'm trying to work on my portfolio. I really should read more poetry and add to my singing stuff. But I hate editing. I hate editing more than anything. So I don't like editing my own work. And unfortunately, that is necessary to have a good portfolio. You don't want to waste any more time than necessary, but morbid curiosity has gotten the best of you, and if these lousy things can talk, surely more than one of them is going to be helpful. Maybe. So, you are going to humor the spinal column. You doubt anything wrong with it is even going to be the obvious correct thing, but whatever. What's your problem, flying bent vertebra? Do tell. Oh, the pain of it all! The pain of sitting on these incredible limited time offers! Lord Almighty, will nobody relieve me of the back-breaking duty of holding on to all these once-in-a-lifetime bargains? Is there no respite, no backing out from the torment of carrying such a broad selection of brand-name quality products at blowout prices? Buy now and you'll receive not 1, not 10, but 2 complimentary gifts at almost no extra charge to you, the valued customer. These torturously agonizing deals have to be seen to be believed. Ask the spine what it's selling. No, take its hat. Visit the nose again. Steal Band-Aids. Go back and talk to the barf guy. Take your clothes off. Collect useless things. Move furniture around. Oh, Miss Green's not happy with us. This comic is similar to Homestuck in that the comments guided it. So yes, that is everybody talking to Miss Green here. Know what? No. Since you woke up here, you've had thoughts that didn't feel like your own. Voices in your head. Ridiculous, nonsense ideas. Are you sick? Are you drugged? Are little green men beaming radio signals into your brain? Who cares? The last thing you have time for is worrying about a giant noses problem or buy things out of part of a skeleton's briefcase. Why are you even entertaining the notion of doing anything that does not involve searching for your son? All right. You ignore the spinal column's sales pitch and other whining meat scraps, pressing on in your urgent quest to reunite with your kid and find a way out of this cheap, laughable horror show. You'll find him on your own, or you'll beat what you need to know out of that pink doorknob guy, or whatever the hell that he was supposed to be. On your way down the hall, you notice a huge, leaking pile of trash bags on the floor. What a dump! What an absolute joke! You know what you should do? You should sue! Do talking bugs and guts know what that is? They vaguely know what hospitals are supposed to be. Maybe they know what a big fat lawsuit looks like. Oh, oh, Miss Green, watch out. Miss Green, you might want to be careful. Behind you! Look behind you! Huh? Oh no. Oh no! It's too late! She got you! And this is the first of the many horrifying deaths in this comic. Like, it's gross and horrifying and terrifying and skin crawling, and it's drawn in such a friendly way that it doesn't seem nearly as unnerving. Oh. Oh. Can we get these to load? Well, unfortunately, there's supposed to be an image here. I can tell you what it looks like. You see the silhouette of another doctor over you. They've got a very specific look. Okay, this should... Whoops! Okay, I think this goes... Oh, nope, it doesn't. This thing sure has a lot of parts. Did I just drop something? Too late now. Maybe we'll find it next time. Wake up. Oh, good. It's the same room again. And here you are, and here you were still hoping you might wake up in the real world any minute now. What the hell was that? What just stabbed you in a million places all at once? Why is there suddenly a weird, sharp pressure deep in your chest? You feel sicker than ever. Re-examine yourself and the surroundings. Unlike last time, you can't hear anything coming down the hall. You take a moment to calm down, think, and explore the room in detail. You make a series of minor discoveries. You have no obvious scars or wounds, though you vividly remember the pain of several hundred tiny punctures before you passed out, and apparently underwent some sort of surgical procedure. There is nothing wrong with you externally, but there is a sharp sensation every time you breathe inwards. The red button appears analogous to the call nurse button in a legitimate medical facility. You probably don't want to call this nurse. The sink seems to run either freezing cold water or scalding hot phlegm. Naturally. The picture you smashed has been replaced by art. There is nothing remarkable about the paper or the wall behind it. The cabinets and drawers are stuffed mostly with small, irrelevant items. Erasers, buttons, some plastic army men, chewed pencils, candy wrappers. Basically garbage. The tools and gadgets on the wall are empty plastic shells. Useless, though Game Boy, which seems to have been glued where a heart monitor is supposed to go, also contains a plain gray cartridge with Dr. Murio written on it in marker. It is also an empty shell. All of the band-aids are used. Every single one appears to be blotched with dried blood and yellow smears of pus, carefully rewrapped and put back in the box. The tissues, likewise, are stiff to the touch. Welcome back, Alice. It's very gross. The sanitizer on the wall smells like bile. It also moves a little. Something inside the waste cabinet thumps every few moments, and it seems to emit a dim glow. It shows no sign of being able to escape, whatever it is. That trash cabinet, I love this trash cabinet. It's a joke that comes to fruition like 300 pages later. It's beautiful. I love it. Let's head out. You decide to cooperate a little more with the weird foreign ideas that keep coming to you, even if they might seem like ridiculous nonsense. That at least seems to be how this place works anyway. You may as well adapt if you're going to get anywhere. You give in to the bizarre compulsion to speak to the garbage can, but it doesn't answer. On your way out, you do leave one of the plastic army men in the middle of your bed, because that suddenly feels like a thing to do. Why not? Of all the possibilities, you think maybe you might want to talk to that depressive what's-it-again. It was at least speaking coherently. Maybe it'll actually answer your questions. Oh, here we are. Sad purple thing. Oh, it's you again. I take it you're here so that you can leave again in disgust? That seems to be the only reason anybody bothers to visit. I think they make a game of it. I don't know if they're keeping score, but I've been doing it for them at least. Wait, you're still here? That's a new record. I think I got a whole paragraph out this time. I take it from your bizarre habit of continuing to listen to me that you are a masochist. I do hope you're enjoying this encounter. At least that'll make one of us. Engage conversation. We got off to a bad start, Mr. What do I call you? You don't know a spleen when you see one? Of course not. Nobody does. Not like they recognize a brain or a heart or one of those smarmy vitals. Did you even know what your spleen does? For that matter, did you even know where it was? Unlikely. Even if you did, it isn't information you would ever actually need in your short, ultimately trivial bio state. The most anyone ever thinks about spleens is how remarkably unremarkable they are among major organs. That is a link to the TV tropes page for useless spleen. Okay, spleen, so where am I? And please be more specific than the hospital. Oh, so you talked to the nose. Dreadful thing. I suppose I have to envy its blissful ignorance, though I'm afraid I must admit what it told you is probably at least accidentally correct. The hospital is the hospital. That's just the way things work. I realize you think things work in an entirely different way, that there's such a thing as different places, and I understand why you would think that. I mean, that's exactly how things would appear to be set up to a simple gray zoner. Again, I must admire such a peacefully naive outlook. I'm afraid it's all well beyond your capacity to understand, or at least explain through communicative mechanisms that you would actually perceive. I have enough of a spleen ache as it is, thank you. Fine, whatever. Listen, I woke up here and I have no idea what's going on, and I just want to find my son. A human being. Like me, just small. Do you have any idea where they might have taken him? Oh, sure. Don't lie on your back and silently resent the color of the ceiling as much as I... You don't... Blah. Piot, have you not read Awful Hospital before? I love Awful Hospital. Oh, sure. You don't lie on your back and silently resent the color of the ceiling as much as I have without picking up on all the latest news. All those visitors I don't have are always not filling me in on the juicy gossip. Just let me open up my little book where I write down all the most important things I didn't see, hear, or care about while I stared at the walls, contemplating the futility of being. Look, just give me a guess, a ballpark idea? Oh, you were serious. How quaint. I'm afraid you'll have to ask Phage, if you can actually get anything out of him that isn't bloated twaddle. It all depends on why they actually brought you both here. I'll confess I did hear at least some babble about a lockdown or quarantine. Obviously nothing I'm important enough to be a part of, but His Majesty Professor Bowties was actually even less coherent than usual. Never a good sign. Not that anything ever is actually a good sign. I'm pretty sure they stopped making good signs back around the time they invented existing. At least that's my professional opinion as an involuntary exister from almost the entire period that I've been conscious. Okay, so, I got attacked by what I think is a nurse? Do you know what that was? Oh, don't get me started on the nurse. Whoops, I started. No helping it now. Dreadful thing. No conversation skills, no pants. Never actually there when you need her unless you've got something really critical to treat. Something nice and juicy like a creeping fever or scream warts or malaria. One of the few good ones a spleen gets to worry about. Where was I? Yes, the nurse. I do believe she's on orders to keep anyone from leaving the exam ward while the hospital is on high alert. Don't bother trying to outrun her. She may look almost as awkward, slovenly, absent-minded, and devoid of taste as yourself, and she is all of those things, but she can also move exactly as fast as she wants. If you're thinking of having a go at her with that toothpick of yours, I'm loath to admit that the results would be far worse for you than for her, as fleetingly amused as I'd be by the spectacle. You'd be lucky if they cared enough to put your skin back on. I get the idea. So, can I ask, what are you here for? Is there something I can do for you? They tell me there's nothing technically wrong with me, and they're right. Nothing's ever wrong enough for anyone to care. If I had something terminal, of course, the nurse would be waiting on me hand and splugab. Attention like that might even offer some brief distraction from the crushing tedium of being me. Well, I did have this idea earlier that we could switch rooms and use the call button to... Wouldn't work. The nurse would know I wasn't the one who pressed it, and if I was the one who pressed it, she would know I was no sicker than the last 65,000 times I tried to get her attention. Here I am, a spleen the size of, well, the size of myself in any sense, and they've got me on bed rest and fluids for my depressed functionality. Call that patient satisfaction, 'cause I don't. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Piot. Continue conversation. So, do you want me to, injure you? Oh, you can run me through a shredder if it would amuse you enough, sure. But while many here would find such an experience fairly entertaining, I'm afraid personally feel no better or worse than any number of pieces. I'm an adult, after all. I'm sure you outgrew the plebeian thrills of dismemberment by the time you finished your pupation, or whatever it is you multiparters do. The nose had gas pills. Would that, help? That wouldn't do a thing for me. All I can really hope for around here is a good solid blood disease. Not that there's any unique to a spleen. Oh no, you get a blood disease, the whole system starts to shut down, doesn't it? The last thing anybody ever talks about is what happens to your spleen. Even if they need a splenectomy, they don't even bother giving you a new one. They don't have to. Waste of money. You can't even really die just from lack of spleen. Even the appendix got a better deal. At least that can explode. What if you had some of the things I saw on those eyeballs in the other room? That's not even what they're here for. That's just another one of their insufferable little gripes. A mundane infestation like that is hardly worth a nurse's time, though it would be almost as tedious as answering your banal inquiries if it would please you to make yourself an even bigger source of irritation than you've already been. Please, go for the record. I haven't nearly enough things to bore me right now. Change of subject. Just who exactly is Dr. Phage? Ugh. Is that it? No, that was me realizing that you were still talking. To actually answer your question, ugh. Do you need a hug? Yes, please crush me to your greasy fat sacks in the suffocating embrace of your fuzzy meat branches. Clearly the one thing I was missing all this time was a sticky layer of congealed sweat. What a thoughtful offer. 'Kay, thanks for just being an asshole instead of trying to kill me, I guess. Check out the spine again! You leave the spleen alone for now and decide to revisit the spinal column. He said he had stuff for sale. Maybe he can give you something or something of some use that won't give you eye tumors or anything. The spine sounds as if it continued talking the entire time you were gone. I'm sorry you're not enjoying this so much, Alice. It gets more action-packed, but there is a lot of talking in the beginning. There's a lot of talking in the whole thing, because it's a lot of very highbrow humor, except it's highbrow in the grossest way possible. Like, the runny nose. It's incredibly gross. I love it. It's hilarious. Now you'll receive one Hammerspace brand disappearing reappearing collector's tote with compartments for approximately 10 distinct concepts of any weight and volume. Do not attempt multiple concepts per compartment. Hammerspace Inc. and its subsidiaries cannot be held responsible for spatial prolapse, vector leakage, or cone intrusion within known perception layers. Alright already, what are you selling? What are you buying? The Spine's briefcase unlocks and opens all on its own. If you're not enjoying it, you don't have to stick around, dear. Browse wares. Because I will be honest with you, darling, it's only going to get worse from here. This stays incredibly gross the entire time. These savings won't last. Some of the indispensable products offered by the Spinal Column include a reeking, moldy gym sock, an incredibly stale, hardened donut, a dried clam glued to a champagne cork with too many googly eyes, a gnawed rubber dog bone, somehow still shiny and slick with fresh saliva, one of those drinking bird novelties, sans the legs, a jar of plastic rings you tear off milk cartons. Do those have a name? They're all the same color, and there seems to be a little bit of liquid in the bottom. It smells like formaldehyde. A very dirty iron with no cord. A box that says Happy Wart. A gun, which upon closer inspection is unloaded and has no trigger. A pill bottle with a picture of a crab louse on it. A cheap kid's meal toy of a hamburger strangling a chicken carcass. You fuzzily remember a commercial for this one. You press the hat and the arms spin around, emitting the sound of a braying donkey. The place that sold these disappeared from your area abruptly and mysteriously as it appeared. An assortment of even more useless miscellaneous rubbish, including a broken slinky, a kitchen sponge, a clown nose, many pieces of paper, shreds of cardboard, leaves from fake plants, and chewed gum. Great. Yeah, that's fair. This is definitely not mealtime show. Engage in conversation. So, what do you accept as payment exactly? Please don't say something gross like bile. For a limited time only, all our products are as low as a mere 5600 cc. Any type or combination of types accepted. Oh, blood, super. So, what's in the pill bottle? Off-season ectoparasites are no laughing matter. Don't let a fashion faux pas ruin your image when all you need is one simple, single-dose topical treatment. I think I roughly understand. What's Happy Wart? Papilloma looking drab and lifeless? Liberal application of ViroCorp Happy Wart will have them erect and proliferating again right before your eyes. Verifiably voluminous verrucas or your next outbreak is on us. Got anything for anthropomorphic garbage bag problem? If you're tired of that pesky biological waste refusing to stay dead, what you need is a state-of-the-art, one-of-a-kind, limited edition marvel of technology that we don't have. This ever so helpful answer is punctuated with the sudden sound of a large audience oohing with impressed awe. You choose to ignore it. You can't think of any reason to inquire about any of the other items, especially when they all cost at least the amount of blood found in the entire average adult human body. See, I didn't know off the top of my head that 5600 cc's is the amount of blood in an average human body. I could think of so many gross solutions to this. We're just going to have to keep going and see. Let's look for blood. Try the blood stain? You've got this funny feeling that something might work out for you if you help all these gross body parts with their gross problems, but you apparently need blood to buy anything out of the Spine's ridiculous garbage store. You don't want to use someone who saved your life as money, but you think maybe the bloodstain could possibly offer maybe some pointers on the subject? Oh, okay, that makes sense. The blood is too old and too dry to do anything with anyway. He's gone fishing. Talk to the spleen again. Maybe take him with you? I love this face. This is one of my most used reaction images. They have the GIF from the original anime. If you're not familiar with this face, This is the face that everyone who encounters Excalibur, yes, that legendary Excalibur, in Soul Eater. Because in Soul Eater, weapons are able to talk, and Excalibur is an absolute obnoxious asshole, and every time anyone encounters him and they think about him, they make this face. And this face is just, I make this face a lot too. It's important to my being. Yeah. Refreshing Pineberry Splash. Remember, go on check out Dubby Energy and use code Salmonella, all one word, all caps, for 10% off. What about the skull guy? Hey, yeah, that thing was bleeding all over the damn place. The deliriously excited speed demon has moved almost 6 inches since you were last here. It certainly explains why the blood trail looks so ancient and probably useless to you, but the fresh stuff is oozing constantly out of the brain itself. How to collect it, though? Could it even have enough? What if you assembled all of these guys into a complete human? It wouldn't work, but it's the first thought you've had that made you feel a little better. You'll take any humor you can find right now. You get back to business soon enough, though. Let me try and mute. I'm gonna cough really hard. Hoo-wee. Take the entire skull to the spine. You can't afford to waste time squeezing blood into gloves or tiny pill bottles or something. You're just gonna go ahead and... Oh no, it's dripping. Oh god. Oh god. Why didn't you gather it up in the sheet or something? Ugh. You can't just walk because it's dripping so much, but you can't even really run very fast or it'll get on you. Why did it go completely silent? Shoom. He's experiencing true speed. Bye, Alice. Have a good night. Enjoy your dinner. The skull seems to have some sort of trance or something, occasionally emitting something like a tiny, contented sigh. You have no idea what's going on there, but it's dribbling cash all over the floor, so you ask if it's at least enough to buy those louse pills. Little voices are telling you that those are what you need the most. You certainly know a good deal when you see one. Nothing gets past you. Are you sure you're not in the biz? Ha ha! Your purchase includes 2, that's right, 2 absolutely free bonus gifts, that including 1 Hammerspace brand disappearing, reappearing, compartmentalized collector's tote, and 1 secret bargain hunter special! Items received. Even while you are watching, you are somehow unable to determine how the hovering spinal column hands you a tote bag or drops your purchase into it. When you look inside, you perceive 10 compartments of infinite size occupying the same space simultaneously. You were under the impression the human mind would either just wouldn't process that sort of thing at all, or would go mad from the attempt, but it turns out it just sort of tickles a little. Your bonus gift was an old dirty can of aerosol cheese, half empty. You are momentarily alarmed when you turn to leave and the entire tote bag seems to vanish. The instant you actually want it, however, it rematerializes over your shoulder. The disappearing and reappearing Hammerspace tote bag. Use louse treatment on eyeballs. You can only fuzzily remember or comprehend why, but something tells you to help out those eyeballs who were swarming with the little things you didn't really want to think about right now. They didn't look like lice, but you're compelled to use the bottle with the louse on it. With the cap removed, it appears to be more like a salt shaker than a pill bottle. Shuka shuka. Oh, that's the stuff. I can't thank you enough. I feel better already. It's interesting how you're able to hear the way the words are spelled in this place. The stuff you shook out of the bottle is moving around an awful lot. Meanwhile... Fine, we'll check on it, since you know so much better than I do all of a sudden. I'm only the head practitioner around here, with the single most esteemed medical certificate I've ever invented, but what do I know, right? Well, there is a Green Army man.
There, see? Not only is it still behaving itself in bed, not being a huge liability, it's even getting smaller, just like I knew it would. That's its healing process in action. I wrote a paper on it, peer reviewed by myself. Now let's just let it get its rest before it starts shooting at us. I swear, sometimes you're a bigger worry wart than my last intern, and she was a big wart with an anxiety disorder. If you need me for a real problem you didn't make up, I'll be in my office peer reviewing my latest groundbreaking discoveries. You hear the two monstrosities part ways down the hall and the sound of two different doors shutting. Use the magnifying glass again. You really don't want to, but you have to know. Oh, the lice! The lice are killing the clowns! Oh, can you believe they just kept prescribing me this junk? Throw it out for me, will ya? Received Deadstone Fogger. Take the fogger to the nose. A place this what? Oh, that's it. Give it here. Give it. Take the gas pills. I was over my gas long ago.
You're not sure why a treatment for kidney stones come in a fogger, and you don't really want to, but you have to leave it with the nose, who seems extremely pleased. Received gas medication. Now that with that out of the way, the puke guy, who obviously needed more of these gas pills, and maybe he has something that's...
Hey!
Oh no, now what? It wants something else, doesn't it? Or something's wrong. Maybe you're wasting your time helping these gross monsters.
I hope you find your whittle you.
Aww. Miss Green really wants to find her baby. He's important to her. Take the gas pills to the stomach. Alright, there were tons of gas pill bottles in that barf thing's room. You're not completely certain why you're doing all this, but maybe you can get one of these things to call the nurse, like the spleen guy was talking about. Or maybe, if you make them all happy enough, the nurse will quit guarding the hall? Something has to give. Either way, though, you're definitely beginning to feel sorry for these whatsits. Who knows how long they've been wallowing around this dump. Tasty! Give tasty! You toss the gas pills into the thing's bed from a safe distance. It immediately opens them and shakes them all over its mushy body. It begins to bubble and swell. Tasty! So tasty! Get out of there! You quickly duck out of room 2 and into the bloodstained, still vacant room next door. You're glad you put on those rubber gloves as you pick a small object out from the steaming regurgitation. Oh, yeah, it's a good thing Alice left. She would not have been able to handle this. The grossness. Dr. Kulex's Instant Plasmodidae. Give the spleen malaria. Well, what do you know? Malaria. I guess you're theoretically almost marginally not quite as useless as you almost entirely are. I'd even briefly entertain the possibility of expressing some sort of gratitude if you didn't know this would benefit you so much more than the paltry satisfaction I can glean from it. Trust me, that's the kindest thing I've ever had to say about anything, really. You're officially the least intolerable thing I've ever had the displeasure to endure exchanging trite vapidities with. You should be proud that literally everything else is actually more terrible than you are. It's a very impressive distinction. I suppose I should at least inform you that it will take the nurse approximately 1.5 seconds to get here once I press the call button. I'll give you a few bonus seconds to hide in another room, if only so I don't get any of your spinal fluid splattered on me when she catches you in here. If they smell anything like the rest of you, they might even negate the entertainment value. Hide in the opposite room. You rush to the room across the hall, hoping the gooey eyes won't mind staring at your backside while you peek through the edge of the curtain, finally getting a good look at the thing that had attacked you earlier. Apparently what passes for a nurse around here. Dun dun dun. It looks directly at you.
Apparently, the spleen is still taking priority or something. You can hear a lot of activity from its room. Get out of the exam hall, fast! She seems to know you're here anyway, so you don't bother sneaking around. You storm out of the exam room and turn to run down the hall, nearly running yourself through. Rumble! Dun dun dun. What the hell was that? The nurse has continued to do whatever she's doing to the spleen, ignoring the commotion coming from the little nose's room. Enter hole. You step through the smashed wall into a far larger and very different space. It is not empty. No, the poor little nose. The poor little nose. My babies. My babies. You did this. Murderer. Run? Oh, the door's closing. Reason with her. You make a flabbergasted, sputtering effort to explain to the huge being that kidney stones aren't alive and don't have families where you're from. That you have no idea how you got here or how this place works. You've only been doing what frightening monsters have been asking you to do in the hope that they might lead you to your own child. Your only child. As a mother to another, you're so sorry that... How touching. I know precisely where your meatlet is, flesh beast. You won't be seeing it again, because I am going to pluck out your sight balls and twist off your branches before my little ones drag it here, and you will listen to its pathetic little squeals as a billion broods rip it inside out 1 billion times before I let it die. The thing begins to vibrate and shudder, hovering sluggishly towards you. In the darkness behind it, thousands of tiny, prickly bodies begin to stir, murmuring in faint, squeaky voices. Oh, no, it didn't. Something finally snaps inside you as a giant flying piss rock threatens to torture your baby. Voices are screaming in your brain to fight, and you don't even care how little sense that makes. You don't care what happens to you. You will choke it to death with your corpse if you have to. Oh, there's a video. Let's watch the video. Kidney stone attack. Stab. Kidney stone attack. Stab. You know, I heard Flash is actually coming back. You're not in a ward anymore, ugly gutbag. If I shred you apart here, they'll never put you back together. You barely feel human here. You can leap like a flea in this weird place. You never knew you could lose so much blood and keep moving. Through the gibbering chaos in your subconscious, a single plea rises above the rest, echoing around you like the wisdom of a ghostly mentor. Use the cheese. You pull the aerosol cheese out of your weird tote bag and toss it into the air and swing your hunk of wood like a baseball bat straight for the burning red and glowing yellow eye of the monolithic being. I don't want to yell too loudly. It burns! I'll string your intestines through your every vile cavity! Look for the fogger. With the monster temporarily blinded, you dart between its thorns, taking care not to step on its children and your bare feet, and you find the can of fogger lying in a pool of mucus. It's a one-use product, exactly like a cockroach bomb, but some liquid still sloshes around inside when shaken. How to use it? She certainly wasn't affected by the bulk of the gas in the exam room. Where are you? I can smell your rancid flesh grease. When I'm through with you, you'll know what the inside of your gallbladder tastes like. Stab the fogger. It's a crazy idea, but those have worked out in your favor a few times now. You jam your wooden shard into the flimsy aluminum can, splattering it with concentrated whatever it is. Whatever it is that monsters use as pesticides against sapient kidney stones. You do not want to know. I heard that. I've got you now. Go for the eye and say something cool. Why don't you piss off? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You plunge the poisoned shard of wood into the glaring eyeball of the living kidney stone and land as light as a feather. My eye! My unprotected eye! How did you know? The monster creaks and crackles like a felled tree as it drifts to the slick, rubbery floor, graying before your eyes. Its offspring swarm its crumbling husk like accelerated sea urchins, emitting a cacophony of mournful sighs, even as they crunch loudly upon their dying mother with unseen jaws. Serves me right, I guess. We're a lot alike. You want the maternity ward. Don't fail your larva like I did mine. Investigate the dead monster. You cautiously approach the huge carcass and apologize again for how things turned out. The thing emits a contented sigh of agreement as it seems to lose consciousness for the last time, and something clatters from its surface, rolling to your feet. It actually appears to be your stick, now overgrown with mineral waste. It doesn't feel terribly strong, but it is terribly sharp. Check on the baby stones. You can't help feeling terrible right now, even for killing a giant kidney stone in self-defense, but its young are already back to giggling at one another as they chew on what used to be their mother. Morbidly fascinated by the disturbing scene, you almost jump as something brushes your foot. It seems you get an overpowering feeling that the tiny thing wants to come with you, for whatever reason. This seems to be confirmed by its happy cooing as it is picked up and put into your tote bag, followed by a loud, cartoonish snoring. It fades as the bag goes wherever it goes when you're not paying attention to it. Look for your dead friend. Where the friendly nose thing fell, there is only some soft globs, rapidly melting into a puddle of mucus. The monster seemed to imply earlier that death was permanent wherever you are now. You couldn't have known that thing would turn out that things would turn out this way. Nothing makes any damned sense here. Did the nose know it was killing other thinking beings? It seemed like a little more than a baby itself. You would do your best to give it a nice burial if you weren't standing in a giant kidney? Bladder? You're not even going to keep thinking about it. Stuff you have now. Return to the hospital proper. The hall is exactly as you left it. The nurse is even still in the spleens room, still doing whatever it is a garbage bag does around here to treat a giant talking spleen's malaria. The kidney stone barricade is gone without a trace. You can go either right or left, though the signs are written in unreadable squiggles. Go right. Earlier, you'd heard the two doctors take opposite turns, so neither direction is necessarily safer, but you feel drawn to the right-hand fork and cautiously, quietly sneak around the corner. A bunch of awful things are queued up in front of some sort of ominous doors. Let's see, we've got another sort of jelly embryo. We've got a well, I don't know if the skin is the person or if the botfly larva is the person. Here we've got a pair of lungs. Those look like lungs. And then a broken leg. And then this tree plant over here also appears to be lung tissue. I can't tell. And then Bill Cipher. We've got Bill Cipher, everybody. Hell yeah. Gravity Falls reference. Question the things. You politely ask the assorted gross stuff what they're all standing in line for. Cantankerous embryo. Can't you see I'm reading my tiny paper here, you gabby broad? It sounds like a middle-aged man. Miasis cube. Jiggles intensely. Impatient kidneys. Like, Doi, it's the surgery line? You like a tourist or something? I'm Kyle. The gross stuff is not entirely helpful. Okay, so those are kidneys, not lungs, and those must be renal tubes. Renal tubes. Look at the pamphlets. For whatever reason, you feel drawn to the table of pamphlets before anything else. Call me Buzz, your blue verminizer. The first one appears to be an advertisement for some sort of exterminator or something. Who knows? You take one of the red pamphlets next. You have no idea what this is. Doctors, de-vaccinizers, anti-vaccine detoxification tablets. Believed. Tested. No formaldehyde. No chemistries. No particle. No added science. A product. Cure vaccine in 2 hours. The final pamphlet appears to be for some kind of anti-medicine. Not surprising considering this place. As you look it over, you feel an uncomfortable buzzing sensation in your skull. These appear to be nothing more than cards. They don't open or offer any further information. Their backs are all blank. Peek through the windows. You try the porthole on the surgery room, but it's too filthy to see through. You try that tall, ominous red door instead. This appears to be the morgue. It is unoccupied, but the door is locked tight. You try the metal door further down. This looks like an X-ray laboratory and a supply room. It is both unoccupied and unlocked. You move on to the wooden, cracked door across the hall. Office of excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of my dubby to clear my throat. Refreshing. Office of Dr. Phleboto Miser, Head Transfusionator. Investigate the lab. Oh, fun! The laboratory is dark, dank, and smells of various chemicals. Take a look around. You should find out why your chest hurts, but you don't want to take any chances with this crap. You lock the door from the inside and take things easy while you look closer at some of the strange things around the room. Just in case, you ask aloud if anything in here can talk. Nothing answers. The large screen is surrounded by old X-rays of various things, even animals. You're pretty sure it's one of those cartoon-style X-ray machines you can just stand behind. Hopefully it doesn't fry you to death or something. The refrigerator is freezing cold to the touch. There's a crude crayon drawing of Dr. Phage signed Dr. Phage. You're suddenly compelled to take it down and put it up against the laboratory window, using the same magnet to tack it in place. The rat has an extremely oversized human ear growing out of its back. It sits calmly, unblinking, twitching nose, the only indication of life. The large chrysalis-like thing twitches every few seconds. The thing in the jar doesn't move. The scent of sour pickle brine wafts from the container. The thing in petri dishes undulate and squirm. You don't want to touch them. The photo on the wall depicts some half-decayed figure with a visible brain. In the corner, you can just make out in the fine print, "Thanks for the turtle." Okay? The cabinets and drawers are stuffed full of garbage like those in the exam room. Also a lot of dead bugs, but mercifully normal ones. The pale thing in the tray is motionless and crawls with maggots. You've seen far worse today, and you've never been squeamish about anything, yet you feel increasing nausea every moment that you're looking directly at the rubbery little corpse. Creepy. Yeah, you should remember this little freak over here. These guys are gonna make another appearance. Open the refrigerator. Your mind is urging you to x-ray yourself, but you feel like you should save that for last. Or maybe the dread has you procrastinating. You wonder if anyone would actually keep any food in this refrigerator in a medical laboratory, or if any real food even exists in this place. You crack the refrigerator door out of curiosity. Hungry blood bag attacks! Hungry blood bag! Blood, 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 blood. The refrigerator bursts open as the thing erupts from the freezer, swooping around the room like a runaway kite. With blinding speed, its tail repeatedly whips and strikes at the air, mere inches from your skin, as though toying with its prey. Try to hit it! This isn't like your last fight. You're the larger, slower, and heavier one here, and the monster gracefully zips out of the way of every swing. Blood, 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 blood. Use the dead thing. If it wants blood, you'll give it blood. You grab the metal tray with the little bleeding thing in it and hold it like you're warding off a vampire, which you basically are. Blood! Yum, 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 yum. Its shrill voice reaches physically painful levels as it plunges its needle into the tiny corpse. The living blood pack sinks softly to the floor with a contented sigh. Blood. It abruptly slithers off and disappears behind various cabinets and desks. With the thing gone for the time being, you finally get a look at what you nearly died to see. Oh great, an apple in a box. Why did they put caution tape all over it? You know what? You're gonna take it. You aren't even hungry. You're gonna steal their one stupid apple out of spite. Outside. Aha! Looks like I'm already hard at work in the lab after all. Brilliant as usual, Doctor. Test the x-ray on the rat. You don't want to boil your guts or anything, but you need to know what the surgeon dropped in your body. You feel a little guilty about it, but you test the machine on the creepy ear rat first, hoping that it's safe for a rodent you found in a monster's laboratory. It might be safe for you. The machine spits a printout onto the floor, and the rat shows no signs of sickness or pain. You put it back where you found it and step behind the machine yourself. Use the x-ray machine. You stand behind the giant cartoonish x-ray screen, which seems to scan things automatically. After a few seconds, another photograph pops out and slides across the room. C. Torrey, head of surgery. You find yourself once again contemplating whether this reality has lawyers. Oh, what's happening? Oh, what's happening? Watch out, Miss Green. Watch out, Miss Green. Snap! Okay, so here's what we were supposed to see last time. Dr. C. Torrey, in her blood-stained work uniform, holding a spork and a knife. Okay, this is probably where the brain goes, right? Right? 10th time's the charm. Wake up. Ugh. Ugh. That was unpleasant. That was highly unpleasant. I think I'm actually going to call it right here because I'm beginning to get tired and I have D&D later and I want to save enough energy for D&D. So thank y'all, everybody, for joining me. Thank y'all for the raiders. Remember to check out Dubby Energy and use code Salmonella. Remember to check out, I plan on opening my own trading card store on tcgplayer.com. I will be selling trading cards. I recently got my hands on some Pokemon cards in German and some, what are they called? My brain isn't... Magic cards. I don't have Ether Drift yet. I'm working on getting my hands on Ether Drift. So, thank y'all for joining me. Remember, I post on Tuesdays and Fridays on YouTube, and from now on, I will be reading Awful Hospital on Tuesdays for stream. And then, I haven't decided if I'm going to do it every week or like every other week, but I'm going to keep doing the wine tasting BG3 stream. So if you're enjoying the Baldur's Gate 3, be sure to stick around for more of that. So thank y'all for joining me. I had a wonderful time. And be sure to follow me on Blue Sky and talk to me. We've got lots of games to work on together. Thank y'all. Have a